Good morning, students. How are you? Okay, please take your book, SST book, and remember we are dealing about weather and climate. We are dealing about weather and climate in chapter 10. And just to recap what we have done in two previous videos is that we have discussed about the weather and climate, the factors, what are the things involved in a weather or the climate, and then who are the people who study about the weather, what are they called, what is the science that deals with weather and climate. All these things we have discussed. uh, type of weather, little bit we have discussed, and the factors that make the weather. So these are the main questions that we have answered in previous videos regarding weather and climate. Today we will go little further, but before that I would like to just differentiate, just as a recap, differentiate between the weather and climate on page number 67. Weather, number one difference is weather describes the atmospheric condition of a place over a short period of time. Actually, this is the definition. So weather describes the atmospheric condition. We have I have told what is an atmosphere. Atmosphere is air that surrounds the earth. So air that covers up, envelopes the earth, and due to various factors, the weather or the atmospheric condition changes. That is weather actually. So the atmospheric condition, it can be what are the atmospheric condition that can be? It can be hot, it can be cold, it can be raining, or it can be moderate. So various weather conditions are there in the atmosphere. So it is an atmospheric condition over a place for a short period. It's not for long period. For example, now what is the weather? Weather is cool over there. According to the temperature wise, it's a cool weather. Outside it is drizzling. Outside it is drizzling today and cloudy. So this is the condition. This is the weather condition today. So it is quite pleasant weather. It is neither hot nor cold. It's a pleasant weather, but drizzling outside. It's not exactly raining. All night it had rained. Now it's drizzling. That is the condition. Whereas the climate is the average weather condition. It is the weather condition of a place for a long period of time. It's not short period of time, it's a long period of time. That is about 30 years, he says. It's an average weather condition over a place for long period. It's called climate. And so, next one, weather changes within a short period of time, and climate changes remains stable for long period of time. Number three, weather affects the day-to-day activities of the people. Climate also affects the heating, the food habit, clothing, transportation, houses, building. It's a longer period of time. It's a day-to-day. It's every now and then it can change, but then here climate is not changing. It remains for long period of time. And here, therefore, our food, type of food that we eat, the clothing that we wear, and the transportation that means movement, carrying of the things and the people from one place to another. All these are they come under transportation. It's not only goods transportation, it's a human transportation as well. And the houses that we live, the type of house we build, it depends on according to the climatic condition of a place. And so the houses you might have seen here, we have the whole flat roof we have. Whereas if you go to Darjeeling or in the hilly area, they are sloping roof. They have got the sloping. This flat roof will not last long. It will down. But the slope roof, very sloping roof, you'll have that will last longer. It has got its own impact because of the climatic condition over that place. Okay, so type of houses you have learnt in the early classes, class 3 and 4, you might have heard the type of houses people build. Okay, around 6 types of houses people are building, you know that. If you have not find out from the lower classes. Okay. Now, what are the factors that affect the climate of a place? See, climate here, only climate is given. You add also the weather. I'm telling you, just add also the weather. The factors that affect the weather and climate of a place. I repeat, the factors that affect weather and climate of a place. Because these climatic condition, the factors that are affecting, they affect both weather and climate. I read. As we travel far and wide, we spot different places in the climatic conditions of various places. There are many factors that affect the climate of a place. Number 1 is the latitude. Latitude or the distance from the equator. Latitude refers to the distance of a place from equator. Remember, the other day we have also discussed in the live class about this latitude, altitude and all that. So, latitude. There are 2 lines of in the imaginary line. There are 2 imaginary lines on the earth. In the globe, in the map, it is very clear. It is not imaginary, it is an actual. But on the earth, actual earth, it's an imaginary. So it's the imaginary lines. Lines that runs from North Pole to South Pole is longitude, and the lines that runs from the east to west or west to east, they are known as latitude. So they are drawn parallel to equator. The equator is what called latitude, longest latitudes that divides the earth into 2 equal halves and makes the 2 hemisphere, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. We have learned that. So they are these lines, latitudes, they define, or yes, they mark out which type of temperature they have, how much temperature is, and how far is are they from the equator. The regions near the equator are hotter than the regions that are away from the equator. This variation is due to the shape of the earth and the sun rays falling at different angles on the earth. Next, we know that the earth is spherical in shape. Spherical means round. Spherical. It means round in shape, and its axis is tilted. Axis is tilted, not straight. Axis means that on which the earth is holding or standing. Hence, the rays of the sun will fall directly on the equator, and the other places it's so therefore it is stronger rays and then very hot. Whereas the other regions away from the equator, they are slanting, and so they are not very hot because sun rays fall slanting. Okay, as the less amount of sun rays. The regions away from the equator receive the slanting rays. Slanting rays spread over the large area, and therefore it is weaker. That means not very hot. Weaker here, not very hot. So here there is less hot. Next factor is altitude. Altitude is the places or the ground above the sea level. The leveling is the water level. I have told earlier how it is level. The climate of the place is also affected by altitude, height. How much height you are. Higher places. So the air closer to the earth's surface is dense and absorbs more heat. It makes the places at lower altitude hot, and the atmosphere is thinner at high altitude. It absorbs less heat, making the place in hilly areas cold. That is why most of the mountain peaks are covered with snow in winter and hill station and are cold in summer. For example, Jalandhar, Shimla are located on the same latitude, but temperature of Shimla and Jalandhar is different because Jalandhar is in the plain and the Shimla is in the high altitude. In the lower altitude, higher altitude, and so there is a format. There is a rule. There is a rule. What is that? Higher the altitude, lower the temperature. Lower the altitude, higher the temperature. Can you remember this? Higher the altitude, lower the temperature. Lower the temperature, higher the altitude. Higher the altitude. This you should remember. This is the rule. This is the rule. And so, distance from the sea. Next, third is distance from the sea. The place where you are there, how far are you? Or how far is the place from the sea or the water body, large water body, sea or the ocean. So distance from the sea. Places near the sea, they have got the moderate climate because of the sea breeze and land breeze. Sea breeze and land breeze, we have discussed that. Okay, so sea breeze and land breeze. I have spent enough time, I am not going to do that. Humidity and rainfall. Yes, amount of water vapor or the moisture present in the air is known as humidity. Underline that. The degree of humidity of a place is also related distance from the sea. The closer the place is the sea, the more humidity is. Humidity of the place increases the rainy season. As the air carries more moisture in it, then that is why they sweat more lot in rainy season. Even if there is cloud, you feel so hot. Why? Because the heat of the earth is not able to go up, because that is the rule actually. Hot air goes up, rises up into the atmosphere. But when there is a humid air, humidity, that will not allow the heat to escape into the atmosphere. Do you understand? And so here the people where we are, we will feel hot. Just like the covering with blanket. When you cover with blanket, you feel very nice in the winter season. But if it is covered during the summer season, what it is? It will be boiling inside. Why? Because of the heat will not escape through the blanket. Blanket will save the heat from escaping into the air. So that is how it works. Direction from the wind. The direction. The horizontal moving air is called wind, whereas the what is that? Horizontal moving air is called wind, whereas is the vertical moving air is what? Is a wind current. What is that? Wind current. The hot wind increases the temperature of a place, while the cold wind decreases. The wind passing over the water bodies carries moisture and brings rain to the places where they blow. India is affected by the seasonal wind known as the monsoon wind that comes from the sea. What happens during the summer season? The wind that comes from the sea, they come to the hot place in the northern area, and then they rise up. because they are hot. And when they rise up, they cool down. And when they cool down, condense, then they form water. And in the monsoon season, we get rain because of that. The southwest monsoon wind brings rain June to September. And this is the time we are. Now we are in September, month of September. And the northern northeastern monsoon wind brings rain during the December. So we have got two rainy seasons. The early morning, that is monsoon rainy season, and the monsoon that is called early monsoon, and the later monsoon. That is a monsoon that they experience, the states that experience, like Tamil Nadu, mostly Tamil Nadu, part of Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka, partly, but full Tamil Nadu, they experience the later later monsoon because of this. The wind that blows from the north to the south. Okay, and that's why they have got the later monsoon. Okay, you'll learn about the different kinds of wind movement, wind current, then breeze, wind, breeze, storm, then the storm, and then what called tsunami and all that. All those things we'll study later classes and later what called books in the geography. Okay, so this also is a part of geography. Okay, thank you very much. Yes.